And I have John Holly here with me.
3 phases: dressage, cross-country, show jump. And you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, the voice of the eventing radio show, brought to you right here by the Horse Trailer Pros studio.
Yep, it is, and we're glad to be here, but we are bringing you some more information about the coronavirus, and John and I thought it was necessary for us to come in, talk about the coronavirus, what everybody's doing at this point, and how it's affecting our business. Businesses outside the scope of what we do with the equestrian world, and what we feel, at least from my opinion, what we all need to be doing to contribute to mitigate the problems with the coronavirus. And John, I know it's been affecting you because you do have clients that are leaving early from your farm going home, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we always rent out one of my barns.
Right.
And that barn is now empty. That's 10 stalls gone. And so I think everybody's kind of dealing with that stuff in their own way. I have to say, I think myself personally, and I'm sure you feel the same way, compared to family members that I talk to and friends that I talk to who sort of live more of a traditional lifestyle, I think we're incredibly lucky. I mean, I have less business for sure, and I'm stressed out about that.
Right.
But every day I get to get up, I go out to the barn, I ride my horses. I think, everybody who's watching this probably has similar thoughts on it, that as tough as it is, if we have a farm somewhere that we can go out and be outside, that's pretty fortunate.
Yeah, and I think it all started really with Ocala being the last horse trial when the coronavirus, when we started really understanding that it was affecting the United States and it was affecting the horse trials and what was going on. And then on March 16th, they did a complete shutdown they started the migrating of horse shows canceling, right? Carolina canceled, Ocala International canceled, then Chat canceled. And I think there was a wave of misunderstanding when this started happening for people, because I got to tell you, some people just started thinking outside the box. We didn't know what was going on and how fast this virus was spreading, how we didn't even have really anything in place other than the 50 crowd rule and 6 feet apart. And what I wanted to bring to everybody's attention is when something like, we haven't been through this ever in my lifetime.
Well, definitely not mine then, because I'm way younger.
Shut up. And speaking about this, did you wipe down with this?
I wiped everything down.
Because you are young and you probably, are not giving in to what you need to do with this coronavirus.
I'm giving in.
Okay.
I gave up weeks ago.
Good. My point being, when people do think outside the box, when we are getting information coming fast, I think on social media, we need to be careful, even though we have a strong feeling of how things should be happening. And I think we should follow the national guidelines for what we should be doing. But I just want to tell everybody out there, please, we're all in this together. And if somebody is trying to think outside the box, let's give them some nice information and not bully them on Facebook. And there's a couple people I'm not going to mention that were trying to do the right thing, and they got really attacked on social media. And I think everybody's going to learn this day to day. It's a new scope to the next day.
It's a total new normal, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, you're right. I remember when they talked at Ocala about how on Monday everything was going to be shut down.
Right.
My first reaction was, well, then why aren't we shut down right now? But you start to realize, because it's kind of like a wave coming at you, and it's coming, and we've got to get ourselves ready for it. And I think now it's here.
It's here.
And it's going to get worse. But my understanding of this and reaction to this has changed.
I mean,
day
it
by
changes
day.
Every day, right?
Absolutely. And it changed today, or Tuesday, when the Olympics canceled.
Correct.
Postponed
until 2021. And we're all talking about, well, is that the right thing to do? I personally think it is. I think we need to, outside the scope of the equestrian, my business, I do have a vocational school, which everybody pretty much knows. And I have 150 students. I have 20 instructors. I have been diligently working with the U.S. Department of Education, with our national accreditor, and with the state to get distance learning going for cosmetology and barbering. That's a challenge, but we've got it done. I think our world is changing so fast. We've all got to be able to shift, do what we need to do in our horse world and our horse barn work, like you're talking about. We can still practice safe measures, even if you are limited in the people that are coming to your barn, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think, like, as far as the Olympics thing goes, it seems like, gosh, it's far enough away. Maybe you can hang on to it and hope a little bit. But you're talking about so many sports, and we're in some ways really fortunate in the horse sports that, like I said, a lot of us have farms. We can train at home, do our own thing, but at some point you do have to get out and compete, and I'm sure for track and field and rowing and all those other sports, it's a big deal because they've got to be competing in close quarters, and it's not about being safe at the Olympics. It's about being safe in the whole lead up
getting
to the Olympics. And not just for those athletes, but those athletes all have families and friends and people that they go home to every night. And I think, honestly, like, I sort of joke about it, but I was hacking around today and I thought, you know what? I give up. We just all need, at this point, to win, we got to give up. Stop trying to hang on to, maybe we can go to this competition or that competition.
It's done.
We're done. We're shot. We're not going anywhere for a while.
We ain't going anywhere.
Just resign yourself to it, and you know what? Like, there's always a silver lining.
Well,
right?
and we can all start by, I think a lot of people go, well, what are you doing? And I have done a couple live Facebook things where we're lucky enough to be at the Ocala Jockey Club.
I know. I got to learn about Ospreys.
Osprey,
yeah,
right?
The Seattle Osprey.
Yep, Seattle Seahawk.
All right, right.
And we have a lot of wildlife, so we try to share that when we're doing our hacks. And being at home with young horses, just lessen up on what their training regimen is, and maybe make it more, not that it's not enjoyable for them when you're intensely training, but make it not as intensely needed at that point. You just kind of push it out, right?
Absolutely. My horses are going so much better right now.
There's no
They feel
pressure.
great. They're not galloping, so they're not tired or sore after the gallops.
Right.
There's no, I train them every day as opposed to try to make them do some stuff they need for the test that weekend.
Right.
There's no, not that I hammer them through to make them do stuff for the test, but certainly you got to ride the
But
pattern.
maybe we should take that mentality
Absolutely.
and apply it.
It's amazing how much better they go when I'm not stressed out all day.
And I think that's what we're going to learn about this. I think there's always a reason for something to happen. And unfortunately, people are losing their lives. We're learning a lot of things of how to make that not happen by mitigating the circumstances, staying at home, not being stupid and going to the beach in droves, and being smart. And I think having a new normal is what we're kind of looking at. And then what we want to know from all of y'all out there is, what are you doing that you can do with your horses that makes the day pass if you're able to? If you can get to the barn and get things done, that's fun. We want you to report that to us on the John and Rick Show and let us know what you're doing.
Yeah, and then we'll hopefully on the next show be able to bring some of those ideas forward.
Yeah, I think
maybe shoot us some videos, some pictures, ideas, whatever you have. Send them to us, and then we'll try to feature that on the next show to give people some ideas as to what everybody's doing.
Right, and make sure you're taking this pandemic seriously. At least at the minimum, follow the 10 together 6 foot rule. My mother brought this to me over 2 years ago, and I made fun of her. Sorry, Mom. Do this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're keeping 6 feet apart,
Yeah,
and I wish it was further. But
I wish it was further too. Every time, I wish it was further.
We do talk a lot. And as far as our families, I'm not even seeing Elisa a lot. So we just want you to enjoy the show. That we do want to tell you that the Sharon White interview was pre-recorded before, and we just want you to know her section was done before this big Corona outbreak was really intense. So we wanted to do this and have you enjoy the rest of the show, and let us know your thoughts when we get to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching the rest of the show. We've got Sharon White coming up here next.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, and amazing footing to gallop. a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information.
The equestrian life has big highs, heartbreaking lows, and so many moments of self-doubt. From CCI 5-star to starter, every rider needs a support system and a cheering section. A care package filled with equestrian goodies can be the perfect way to celebrate, congratulate, or commiserate. Let Present Pony do the work so you don't have to miss an opportunity to express your love and support.
Jump for Joy show jumps are FEI approved or perfect for your private farm. They're easy to move and high quality and durable, so there's never any painting or scraping required.
Need a custom jump with your farm logo or a sponsor jump to place on course? The options are endless. Jump for Joy has something for every budget and can work with you on design. These are just a few of the jumps that we've had custom built for us over the years by Jump for Joy. Check them out at jumpforjoyusa.com. Zachary Brandt Eventing is located in Northwest Ocala and currently has openings for horses in training and for sale. Zach has experience riding multiple horses up through the advanced and 4-star level, as well as teaching riders and horses of all ages and levels. In addition to teaching lessons, Zach is also available for clinics, as well as coaching at competitions. You can find Zach on Facebook and on Instagram.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, the voice of the eventing radio show, and we are here from Horse Trailer Pros Studios, and we're very excited that we are now joined by 5-star event rider Sharon White. And Sharon, thanks for coming on.
Yay, Sharon.
Thank
I
you.
said,
Thank you so much for having me.
she's one of my favorite. Look at her smiles all the time.
Yeah, and you had a great Red Hills a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you get a little bit of the twofer because you were on 2 weeks ago with the interview, and now you get to be on today.
My favorite part, go ahead.
Thank God I won.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys.
We saw you. You were second after dressage, or were you winning?
Tied for the lead.
Yeah, with Louis.
With Louis.
Cooley
Yeah.
on show.
Cooley on
You
show.
bit me, so that's
Sharon,
exciting.
He
Sharon,
is dangerous.
Yeah, he's like an alligator.
right?
He is
Let's talk about Sharon for a second. Sharon White, 5-star event rider from
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia, you got all your teeth.
Virginia. I have all of my teeth. I'm not married to my cousin.
Wow.
Now, Sharon, we do have listeners out there too that would like to know a little bit more about your history, how you got started. Tell us about yourself, because we would like to know.
Okay. So I got started, as I think a lot of people, my family was not involved in horses at all. And when your parents are trying to find those things for you to do,
Right.
you know, piano lessons, ballet lessons, never going to be a ballerina ever in my life. But so gymnastics, you know, also not my forte.
Right.
And then my mom had always wanted a horse so badly. So one day she said, let's go take riding lessons. And she opened up the Yellow Pages. And we went to the Great Falls Horse Center.
Wow.
And we went and started just, you know, riding lessons. And
right
it
there.
happened to be.
How old were you?
I was 12, and it happened to be an eventing, like that
So
was,
it was
they
total
had
luck.
it was total luck. They
Or
had
fate.
or fate, or, you know.
Depends on whether, you know, you're meditating or
Zen.
how zen
We'll
you
come
are.
back to
So-
that in a second.
So we didn't know anything, like my family we just didn't know anything about horses, but I went there on day one, and
And
Here
so,
you are.
do
and
your parents,
the smell was amazing. I was like, oh, this is where I want to.
That's great. Which probably led into the things that you do every day now when you smell like the barn smells in the morning, because you have coffee in the morning. That you got to have that. I saw you. We went to your barn, saw your staff that your working students, they're so great, by the way.
So
they have
lucky.
great. But I noticed when you came in, they're all like, "You want your coffee?" So
There was definitely a routine to the whole thing.
you could tell.
Please be happy. Here's
So
coffee.
your childhood led you up the path
Yeah.
to where you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just sort of curious. Is it that you are so calm and serene that they just have the plan for you? Or
As-
is it that
as you
go
open your
so
hands.
insane that
They,
they
uh,
make sure they keep you calm?
You know, I think you always, I think everyone works on what they really need to be better at.
I don't.
So,
I only
or I
practice what I'm
do.
good at.
So I
Is that
think
you just spit?
A little bit, yeah.
my poor staff, they're always just trying to make sure that I'm going to stay calm and be content. So coffee really helps with that.
That's good.
Is it decaf then?
Nope, no.
So not to travel back, you were 12, and then how did you flash forward to your complete, like you're a 5-star rider, and you've been out there and you're doing great. You have great owners and you've built a great business, and you're here in Florida, and we see you all the time.
I'm
doing
super,
so well.
Super grateful for my life. I don't know how exactly it happened when I started riding. It was, I was always going to follow in the footsteps of my mother, who was a professional and very well educated, and I was going to go to Smith like she did and whatnot.
Was she a doctor?
No, she was chief of staff for a senator, though. So.
Oh, you were going to go into the politics.
Well, I wasn't going to go into politics,
But you were going to be chief of staff.
I was going to be
of
something important like she was, and then.
Well, I think you've accomplished that.
Well, and I thought with the horses, I thought when I just fell in love, and then I thought I'll be the world's best groom, right? I didn't know I could do
Really?
anything else. I was going to be, I was just going to.
So when did that change?
Just over the years, I've been really lucky with the people around me, and I've had really good mentors.
Stuff that happens.
And it's all just, it's.
So when you were younger, a teenager, obviously at some point you had a dream develop that you want to do something with horses.
Yeah.
So was the dream to be a groom, to have a job in horses, or to be a 5-star
And the
hunt
Olympics.
rider?
Probably when I first started, it was just anything with horses. So,
Right.
and you don't know, like when you're just learning to post the trot, right? That would be grooming
Right.
is just fine, right?
Yep.
And then as you get better and better, then you'll start to realize, oh, maybe I could. And then people start to support you. I think that the people that support you along the way until you actually know you could do this. So somewhere along the way, I was like, and I will be a rider.
You know what? That is so refreshing for me to hear, because that's a little bit the way I was as well. Like I hear so many people come in and say, when I was 9, I knew I wanted to go to the Olympics. And I think that's a little bit, Elisa is a bit that way. She knew she wanted to be a top rider her whole life. For me, it was a little bit like you, where I wanted to be a farrier. I wanted to do all
You had other things that you wanted.
Well,
to
because
do,
I thought
right.
that those were my options.
Right.
And then I remember at one point I went away to be a working student, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, I just hope I can make enough money to have one good horse. And it grows, and that's kind of nice
And
to
it
hear
grows.
for me, and I'm sure for a lot of the people watching that,
Watching
it's like,
you-
oh, you mean you don't have to
listening.
just be so certain exactly what you're going to do, but it kind of evolves.
Absolutely. I think follow your passions,
Right.
right? Like follow wherever that leads you, right? And that's what.
Maybe I've been meditating all these years and I didn't know it.
Didn't know it, right?
Yeah.
See?
I don't think so. I just think it's because she's sitting next to you, you're starting to feel a
I
little.
feel really zen right
That
now,
is-
just
isn't
being
that
next
nice?
to you. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Red Hills a little bit more.
Okay.
And tell me when you galloped around the cross country course and you were coming down and saying, this is going really well. How did it feel on that course at Red Hills?
Oh, I loved the course. I think we got so lucky with the footing. Mikey S did an amazing job. I wish it would have been another 6 minutes. By then, my horse was feeling so good. I was like, oh, I could just keep going.
That's
Right?
great.
Like
I saw
I could
you-
keep going.
I saw you going. You were really looking terrific. We did watch you on Show Jump Day, and we all kind of made fun of you a little bit. And it was probably enough time had passed, maybe not.
I remembered the bell. I waited for the bell.
Yeah.
So to people that don't understand what we're talking about, you were in a really great position at the Ocala Jockey Club.
Yep.
At 2019, 4-star long,
Not so long ago.
not so long ago.
So, what
place were you
What
in?
place were you there?
I can't remember.
It was like the
third,
top
yeah.
three.
And my horse is a super show jumper.
Right, right.
I was not in the moment. I had already won.
So what happened, I will tell people what happened,
Yeah.
just so you don't have to say it. You went in, you were so excited to get started over the first jump, and you did, and the bell had not gone off.
Correct.
And then they double belled you.
Well, it's because I didn't stop when I heard it the first time because it didn't even occur to me. It
What's
didn't even
going
cross
on?
my mind.
So
And then when
that-
they dug it again, I was like, no, there's no way possible. And then, yeah.
So that's, look, I can only imagine, because being where you were, it was probably a very important run for you.
I think they all are.
And so how long did it take for you to regroup in your mind and go, dang, and sorry, and whatever you had to do? Because I know that's tough.
It is tough, and this is where I do meditate, and
Right.
it helps me a lot, right? So there you have a choice at that moment where you can
Where are
say,
you gonna go?
like you can say, wow, that is awful, and it's because of X, Y, and Z, or whatnot. Or you can just say, wow, that was a big mistake,
Right.
and it was my fault, right? And I'm going to take it, and I do believe everything happens for a reason.
I
So
agree.
I really feel that strongly, and I think that reason for me personally was, I think I work like we all do. We work so hard
Right.
at this sport, right? The sport is so fabulous, and yet it is labor intensive and hard.
And humble.
And humbling, and all of those things,
Yeah.
and the ups and downs are whoa, right? It's so I decided that at that moment in time, I was like, well, the thing you don't do is you don't believe in yourself, and you're the only one that can wait for the bell, so you might as well start believing in yourself.
And,
Right.
and waiting for the bell is always now an important thing, right?
It's such an important thing.
And with
so.
that, we're going to take a moment and listen to the bell for our commercials, and then come back and talk to you more, if we can.
All right,
Great.
we'll be right back.
Special thanks to our contributing sponsor, Black Horse Farm, Fox Hunting and Eventing. Located in Area 4, Black Horse Farm and the Mossback Hounds in Elizabeth, Illinois, welcome active USEA eventers to come join them for an introductory fox hunt free of charge. Ride with Master of the Hounds, Tony Leahy, and the Mossback Hounds over some of the finest hunt territory in the entire country. For further details, visit Black Horse Farm on Facebook to arrange for a ride sponsor. When I compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That means being the best version of me I can, both mentally and physically. That's why CrossFit Antics is my home gym. Coach Vilma creates a fun, welcoming environment that encourages athletes from beginners to seasoned veterans to be their best. New to CrossFit? No problem. Coach V will modify the workout to suit you in a fun, challenging way. Be sure to mention the John and Rick Show for a special discount. ERA of North America is the voice of the rider, to assimilate and leverage the collective voice of North American riders, equine professionals, and owners. ERA of North America works to improve the overall safety, welfare, visibility, and growth of the sport. Be sure to go to www.eraofna.com and jump in. You can compare, you can contrast, but in the end, there's only one ultra-premium horse feed, Pro Elite Horse Feed. Its nutrition lock formulas ensure quality, its advanced amino acid profiles maximize performance, its regulated starch and sugar levels mean confident calorie sourcings, and its superior digestibility leads to an overall healthier horse. When it comes to feeding your champion horse, there is no competition. There's Pro Elite Horse Feed. For more information, visit www.proelitehorsefeed.com.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, the voice of the eventing radio show. And we are here and presented by Horse Trailer Pros in the great studios on their lot. And we're joined back with Sharon and John Halling, Sharon White, and myself, Rick Wallace. Welcome back. Let's talk some more about you.
Yeah, so Sharon, I think what is really cool, and we touched on it a little bit in the last segment, is you've always, to me, and I mean this sincerely, you've been really inspirational because you always take things when maybe they aren't going the way you want, or you're a little disappointed here, a little disappointed there, which happens to all of us in horses.
Absolutely.
And whether you're doing it on the inside or not, on the outside, you're smiling, you're happy, and you stay positive. And like we talked about in the last segment with the whole thing at Ocala Jockey Club, you took that forward this year, and you were so great at Red Hills. And I think you're only going to take that forward the rest of this season and be even better. But I know a few years ago you were having some real issues with your back. And so if you're all right with it, I'd love to just talk a little bit about that and sort of how you dealt with that and how you made the decision to go forward, because I know you're in a much better place physically now than you ever have been, or at least have been in a long time.
Yeah, no, it's huge. The body is really amazing.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, to John's point, you, to me, I mean, we know each other, we're getting to know each other better, but I think you probably could teach a lot of us to take a deep breath and to reflect and, you know, go forward. Because you say Coolion shows a really good show jumper, takes a really good rider with a really good focus to get through the show jump. So you must have something going on there. But tell us about the back surgery that you had to have to get yourself out of pain.
Well, as riders, we're hard on our bodies.
Yeah.
Eventers, we've all had accidents. So I've had a couple really doozies that have some metal in me, and my back surgery was just an accumulation of all of those and wear and tear over a long period of time.
How long was rehab for that?
For my back surgery? It wasn't too bad, I think, but I think it's taken me a couple of years to get back in form, right?
Sure.
And I think that's really important. I think you have to be physically fit. Like the better your body is, the better you're going to ride your horses, and the more balance you're going to have. And that's our responsibility to. Like, it's our job to be mentally and physically fit after you learn how to ride and be a good horseman.
Sure.
Right? After you learn those things, then like those next components are hugely important.
So do you do anything aside from riding to stay physically strong and fit? So what do you do?
But they have Orange Theory. Like,
Of course it would be Orange Theory. Did you even find out what it was?
No, I just said.
So everybody that doesn't know Sharon or seen Sharon compete out there, Sharon's color is
Orange.
and you can make sure you know she's coming because she's wearing orange.
And I remember going, I'm pretty sure it was one of your first Kentuckys, and I'm walking cross country trying to focus on what I'm doing. I was a little annoyed with you, to be honest, because I'm trying to focus on me. It's cross country morning. I've got my headphones in. I'm walking the track. I am totally laser focused, and I look up and I see what I'm assuming from the back walking away from me is a clown in a giant orange wig.
What was that about?
And I'm like, what in the heck is that? And I pay attention, get focused, and I walk the course some more, and then I see 3 people in giant orange. I'm like, what is these giant orange wigs everywhere? And they were all Sharon White fans. There were, I'll be honest, dozens, not hundreds, but dozens of them for sure, in these giant orange puffy wigs.
So where did the orange come from?
It's just a happy color.
That's it?
That's it.
Orange is the color of aggression.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, happy aggression.
Just the color of the sun.
So when did you choose orange?
Well, as per most young kids, when you start out, I was blue and green.
Right.
And then it morphed. It morphed, right? Like blue and green make orange.
All right.
No, it was because no one else had it.
I think it's a good choice because it is very distinctive. And seriously, I saw the guy in the orange wig. I wondered. Then I saw 10 guys in orange wigs, and I was like, oh, they're Sharon fans.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm pretty lucky, yeah.
Then the other great story I love, and we're going to get into your horses in a little bit later, is the Honda.
Yes, the Honda.
Look at you.
She loves
So
Honda.
you have a
So ridiculous.
2009
I'm
Honda?
a 2009 Honda.
See, I even retained that from the last time.
It's because it's the
And
Honda.
it's got really, you've done a great job because it's got a console and your dogs get on it. And then you found what color duct tape?
Khaki matches the interior.
You
so
wouldn't even
tan
know.
interior, you would not know.
So you khaki taped your console, right?
Yeah, I went to trade it in because it was a little old and
Okay,
and
and
whatnot.
tell the story about the trade-in.
Right, so I went to trade it in, but my Honda has never let me down. I absolutely
Does
love her.
she have a name?
No, she doesn't have a name, but she is definitely female because she is reliable and she works every day. I've never had an issue. I've never had to.
you're
she
not
shows
It's a
up.
reliable.
bit sexist.
Right.
But anyway, go ahead.
She's very zen. She just always turns on. I have I have left her with a door open when I've gone to teach a clinic in an airport and been late and left all of the windows open and
she's still waiting for you.
she always turns on. It's unreal. Like, how is that even possible?
Wow, that is crazy.
But my dog, I have dogs and they stand on the console, and so they.
So
but-
how could you even trade her in? So you
So,
went
no,
to go
but
trade her in?
I went to go trade her in, and I listened to my Eckhart Tolle CDs in the Honda when I'm driving around, and if I'm feeling really
what CDs?
Eckhart Tolle.
What's that?
Oh, he's wonderful. He's a philosopher, and
Wow.
Google. You will love him.
Look, I even put a book back there for you.
Oh, you did. So funny.
It's the secret.
So
There's
there's
a
like
book, The
meditation
Secret.
stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Oh, he's brilliant. But
I listen to EDM music, but yeah, same thing.
That's what-
Or Willie Nelson.
She doesn't even know what that is.
I don't even know what he.
She just went like this. Is that a feed?
All right, anyway.
But I know Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
So,
Of course you do. Little John Denver.
So you're at the car dealership.
so I was gonna trade her in, and then I got in the new one, and I was like, "Well, where's the CD player?"
But you've gotten all the way to like getting the new one?
well, like
Or
test
looking at
driving,
it,
test
right?
drive. We're
Okay.
in test driving. I'm like, "Well, where's the CD player?"
Right.
Right. And yeah, no, it's.
They said there's
it's
no
2000
CD
It's 2020.
There's no CD
There's
player.
no more CD players in cars.
So I remember her telling this story, and she went like this. I think I'm gonna have to think about
I
this.
thought I was so shocked, and so.
So she's still outside. I still see her.
Yeah, see, I had to leave. I was like, I
So
can't.
what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
You should have won Red Hills a few years ago. You
I
could have still
know,
had a
and then
chance
had
at a
new
car.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think you should. This is what you should do. You should keep her, not even trade her in.
Yeah,
Because
that's
she's
true.
been so good to you.
You know what?
So
You keep
true.
her long enough.
And
she's
that
gonna
way
disappoint
you get the new one. What did you just say? What did he say?
Oh, that's so sad.
What did he say?
If you keep her long enough, she's gonna disappoint you.
Yes.
That's not true.
Let her go.
Sad, but, oh,
Trade her in.
You do have to let things
We're talking
go.
about the cars. Don't worry.
I don't know.
Just stay modern. You got to get a new car.
But
I
you
know.
can
You
have
deserve a new
you can have
car.
a
I
CD.
will.
All right, you can do it.
I will. I will.
But I think she's special. I think you should have a photo shoot with her.
I actually agree.
I'm telling you, all you do is you get the little Discman. You can still get
Right,
those
you can get
used
the
on
Discman.
eBay.
Yeah.
And you plug it into the auxiliary port. You stick it on your dashboard with
Yeah.
Velcro.
Yeah.
And then it's just like Wayne's World.
So true.
It's
Pop it in.
and I like it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have you talk the segment down because we're gonna lead it back up to the next segment. So we are gonna talk about where you've been with your horses, how many times you've been to Rolex. You're gonna have to sit here or Kentucky, and count it out. How many different horses, which is impressive.
Yeah.
So tell us as we go down, what's your favorite memory of one of your horses at Kentucky?
Oh, that would be Cooley on show at the end in 2018 when he finished. I can't actually remember top 10, but at the end of the course, and he was so good, and he was cleaning in the time, and I was like, just don't like Sharon, don't you start thinking, right? Don't you dare start thinking. And I was like, Louis, Rachel is waiting, his groom, who it's like she is waiting to take care of every one of your needs, and he was like, boom, okay.
That is funny.
Take you home.
That's a good
yeah.
story. I like that.
yeah.
And with that, we're gonna wind it down and have her tell more stories like that for the other 6 horses that she took to Kentucky.
She's been around Kentucky a few times.
lot.
A few times.
5-star rider with a lot of smile. So come back and join us, and we'll let you hear more.
The equestrian life has big highs, heartbreaking lows, and so many moments of self-doubt. From CCI 5-star to starter, every rider needs a support system and a cheering section. A care package filled with equestrian goodies can be the perfect way to celebrate, congratulate, or commiserate. Let Present Pony do the work so you don't have to miss an opportunity to express your love and support. Summit Joint Performance, the injectable joint supplement used by numerous international and Olympic riders, invites you to experience the winning Summit difference. Made of all natural ingredients, Summit increases mobility and comfort. Win your class with Summit Joint Performance. ERA of North America is the voice of the rider to assimilate and leverage the collective voice of North American riders, equine professionals, and owners. ERA of North America works to improve the overall safety, welfare, visibility, and growth of the sport. Be sure to go to www.eraofna.com and jump in.
All right, welcome back to the John and Rick Show, the voice of the Horse Radio Network's eventing radio show, brought to you here from Horse Trailer Pro Studios. And we still have Sharon White, 5-star event rider, and the lady in orange, along with her beautiful Honda sitting right out front. So we're pretty excited.
With no name.
The Honda does not have a name. But
she's
Sharon,
a
thanks
she.
for sticking around.
Yeah,
pleasure.
thanks for coming back.
My
so
pleasure.
we're really excited about hearing about how many times you've been to Kentucky.
Oh, geez. I said I wasn't good
That's
at
okay,
it.
just try. Has it as many things on your fingers?
No,
This many.
I know I went, and for a while it took me every 5 years to get there.
Okay,
So I went,
we can start there.
I know I went in 2001 and didn't get past the dressage.
Okay.
And then I went, 2001, first time, got around on Ready About. And the only reason I got around is because poor Dara Alexander was on course before me, and she broke her collarbone.
Oh, no.
And I
And
had,
you got
I
some
had,
rest?
And I got a little moment. I had a moment.
That does help.
I had a moment, right? And so probably the
So you got
beginning
some
of
time.
it's like, well, either you want to make it or you don't, and if you don't. If you don't get yourself in gear, you're never making it. So, so after that, I then went with.
So you actually meditated on course.
I didn't know I was doing it at that point. I was just making a decision.
She did.
Right?
It was a pre-meditation meditate.
Yeah,
It was
you know,
premeditated meditating.
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Right.
So when you're young, you don't know so many things.
Right.
So that
True
was,
that.
So,
All right, so that's 3 times?
So
Two
no,
times.
that was twice, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in 2006, I would have gone with something or 7. Ronaldo was
there
a
you go.
wonderful.
That was a great horse.
It's a
Yeah.
wonderful horse.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was another 5 years, and then I got there with Rafferty's Rules.
Yep,
Also
I remember
a-
that
too.
horse.
Yep, and a super horse who I also went to England with. And then after that, then it got a little closer. I'm getting better, right? Getting
there.
Getting there.
Wonder Mask.
Yep, and then Rafferty's and Rules and Wonder Mask both went together. And then now it's been Cooley Show too. So
And that's a pretty cool horse.
yeah,
So,
he's
so what's your plan for him the rest of this season?
How old is he?
he's 12,
12, Irish.
Irish. He will do the Fork and Kentucky.
So
it.
I want to ask a question because this gets asked a lot, and people probably don't know what this means. But there's a continental Irish, and there's a proper Irish. Do you know the difference? One
Yeah,
continental means it comes
New
from
Irish is what
right.
we call
It's
it.
a new Irish, and then proper Irish means it's an Irish-bred, homebred
Right,
Irish
because you can
horse.
get an Irish-bred horse that has a green book, but actually has a lot of
So
warm
Sharon
blood
is
in it.
looking kind of nervous.
I know. I'm like, I don't know.
So what's yours?
Yes, I don't know.
What's
I
his
know
sire?
his breeders.
What's his sire?
He's Ricardo Z.
Right, but
Briggs, is that
he could be
proper?
Yeah,
He could
Ricardo
be.
Z would.
He was
Yeah.
bred in Ireland, I think. I know his
We're
breeders.
really good at breeding.
Yeah, sorry. Like I know his
So,
breeders.
I
They're
didn't mean
lovely.
to sidetrack. So
Yeah,
let's just
so-
say he's proper. Let's go on with 12-year-old proper Cooley Show. He's going to do what?
He is going to do the Fork and Kentucky this year.
Great.
As well as he did Red Hills.
And did you make the deadline for February 15th?
I did.
And did you get excited when you did it?
Nope.
It's a lot of work.
You gotta play to win, though, right?
Right.
Like so. That's
Yeah.
so yeah. So
So your goal is to make the team.
I would. It is definitely. It is what.
So
I
how do
work-
you feel about the new format?
I like the new format
Okay.
versus you're talking about the long format where we
No,
have.
no,
to-
the Olympic team.
The Olympic team
Oh,
format.
with the 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know because it hasn't been done yet. So
Right.
we won't know till after. You don't
Right.
know what you
They-
don't know.
They tested it. Where did we test
At
that?
Buccalo,
at
and
the
they didn't
Buccalo.
like it.
No.
And I think I don't like it just because it's
It's
3.
not the sport.
and it's not 4. And here's the thing. Since you asked Sharon, I'll answer for her.
Yes, please. No, I
know,
like.
I
I
said
prefer
it,
because
I'm
I don't
going-
know.
Yeah,
I
so
need to-
here's the deal. Basically, forget about how the format's going to actually run.
Right.
The reason that they changed this format was that they wanted more nations. They wanted more flags represented because that's what the Olympics wants.
I get that. But
Except,
Valid.
it is valid. It seems like a great idea. But what ends up happening is you don't get the best horses and riders in the world. You get the best horses and riders from more countries. So we have a handful of very good eventing countries in the world. and then a lot of other countries that are not as strong and not as competitive. So you are going to have riders at the Olympics, sorry guys, who are not quality riders.
Right.
And so then the question is, are you really testing the best riders against themselves, or are you testing the best 12 to 15 riders and then everybody else?
So Sharon just went to the Zen.
It is what it is, but
It is what it is, and I do with that when I think there's valid points to both sides.
Right.
Right. Like so.
I understand getting more countries represented. Then I do understand. Well, in order to do that, I wouldn't call it dumbing down, but I would say
I would.
Okay, let's call it dumbing down to get that to happen.
Yeah.
But
I think
let's just do this. Let's just still be excited about the Olympics.
Absolutely.
And knowing that
while we still have
you
it.
were one of my favorite. You were one of my favorites for a team not too long ago. So I think everything's going to fall in line for you. That's my prediction.
Sharon will never say it, but I say you got screwed. And
I wouldn't. I would.
Sharon did not say that.
She just did the Zen thing again.
I said that, and I think you deserve to be there. And I'm super excited because all you have to do is be you.
We can be
And
candid
you're good
here.
to go. Yeah,
You can just be the recipient.
I do. That means a lot to me, but I don't disagree with the decisions that were made.
Right.
So,
Well, no, and I understand. And look, I'm not saying that the people that got to go didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
But I don't see how you didn't get to go. And so
We're going to focus on 2020.
Exactly.
And I think the biggest thing is now the fork is important. You just did the first laid down the gauntlet by winning Red Hills and said, here I am.
Yep.
Then you're moving into the fork to hopefully lay down the gauntlet again.
Absolutely.
And then just make it what is it called? A triple. It's a hat trick if you win all three.
that's exactly what that is. Good hockey analogy.
Well, that's because that was Briggs's horse name.
Right.
Oh,
I thought it was
like
because
it.
your son-in-law is
I like it.
Canadian. But
I have no. He
My
would
dad's
know
a
it. He's
huge
smart.
hockey fan.
yeah.
He's like,
I love
so
hockey. I
that's-
learned that from my father-in-law,
Yeah.
my love of hockey, because he is from Toronto and a big Maple Leafs fan. And Florida actually has a very good hockey team.
Yeah, I know Briggs is upset that you went to that hockey game
Tampa Bay
without
Lightning.
him.
We'll go. Briggs, we'll go. We'll go. You're even wearing Tampa Bay Lightning blue tonight. So good job.
There
So after you go to Tokyo, what? See, life just stopped.
Yes, it's okay. I've heard that you get the blues, so yeah. So I'll
It's
be
sort of like
ready.
it's sort of like when you have a child. It's called the blues. After you have it, it's sort of like going to the Olympics. You kind of all that rushes out, and you got to refocus and
I hope you have to
regenerate.
deal with it.
I hope so too.
Yeah, it'd be a good problem.
You know, I do think we have to really.
You
I do-
probably should hold on to her until after.
Absolutely. It's just day by day, right? Like day by day, you do your best every day,
And I like that
that's-
philosophy. I think probably needs to rub off on a lot of us because some of us get a little bit high strung. And
What do you mean by that? I don't get high strung.
I have a CD in the car. That
I don't have a CD player in my truck. Sorry.
You'll have to just play it.
You're going to have
Just,
to read
I
it
think,
to me.
remember, we
I
could
was
be
just-
alive at the single best moment in time ever, right here.
That is true.
And it's totally
You're right.
possible.
Yeah.
This could be.
This could be it.
the one moment that was the best time to be alive as a human being.
Oh, and I
So-
agree with that.
Right? Like you just
I
don't.
do.
So
I believe we all bring into focus in the universe everything that comes to us.
Absolutely.
And if you concentrate on negative, only negative will come to you. If you concentrate on positive, that's all you're going to get.
I totally agree.
So,
Absolutely.
and the positive note to all this is that you have been an amazing guest. We appreciate you being on our show. And I couldn't have picked a better person. And actually, he picked you. And I was like, heck yeah. And the other thing that we got out of it by going to Mardanza
Wait.
was our triple truck picture.
I know that's a great truck.
I want to know, I had a pretty inappropriate pose
I
with my
have
truck,
it, but
and
I
wanna know
did
where
not
that
post
is.
it yet because I'm going to use it for
he's
something
using
later.
He's
Yeah.
got you.
It was
Got it.
it was mildly erotic.
It was.
Yeah. In a really
clothes were on.
ridiculous.
It was so what we're talking about is we took pictures with all. Joel has a big monster truck, and I have a Ram truck, and John has a Ford. So we
And
all
Rick and
lined
I
up.
are very secure in who we are, so we just have trucks that came out of the factory.
Joel with EQTV Network and our producer and partner in the John and Rick Show has a huge truck.
It's very
it's
big.
And
Yeah.
you guys can read into that.
I can
whatever
tell
you
you
want.
whatever, but we're going to wind up this segment and thank Sharon White for being here.
Thank you for having
and
me,
I
guys.
feel more zen just for having you here.
Yeah, so
Thank you so much.
We have coming up now, I've got to go over and visit my good friend Mike Winter in England, who Sharon knows as well. And I got a little tour of his
So
farm,
fabulous.
so we're going to come back and have that interview. And just want to say again, Sharon, thanks so much for joining us. Really happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It was
we'll
fun.
we'll have you back again after you go to the Olympics.
Yeah, the hat trick and then the gold medal.
No pressure. No pressure.
I better run to the Honda quickly.
We'll come back after we go to these commercials. Thanks.
Special thanks to our contributing sponsor, Black Horse Farm, Fox Hunting and Eventing. Located in Area 4, Black Horse Farm and the Mossback Hounds in Elizabeth, Illinois, welcome active USEA eventers to come join them for an introductory fox hunt free of charge. Ride with Master of the Hounds, Tony Leahy, and the Mossback Hounds over some of the finest hunt territory in the entire country. For further details, visit Black Horse Farm on Facebook to arrange for a ride sponsor.
Jump for Joy show jumps are FEI approved or perfect for your private farm. They're easy to move and high quality and durable, so there's never any painting or scraping required. Need a custom jump with your farm logo or a sponsor jump to place on course? The options are endless. Jump for Joy has something for every budget and can work with you on design. These are just a few of the jumps that we've had custom built for us over the years by Jump for Joy. Check them out at jumpforjoyusa.com. You can compare, you can contrast, but in the end, there's only one ultra-premium horse feed, Pro Elite Horse Feed. Its nutrition-locked formulas ensure quality, its advanced amino acid profiles maximize performance, its regulated starch and sugar levels mean confident calorie sourcings, and its superior digestibility leads to an overall healthier horse. When it comes to feeding your champion horse, there is no competition. There's Pro Elite Horse Feed. For more information, visit www.proelitehorsefeed.com. When I compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That means being the best version of me I can, both mentally and physically. That's why CrossFit Antics is my home gym. Coach Vilma creates a fun, welcoming environment that encourages athletes from beginners to seasoned veterans to be their best. New to CrossFit? No problem. Coach V will modify the workout to suit you in a fun, challenging way. Be sure to mention the John and Rick Show for a special discount. Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, the voice of the Horse Radio Network and the Eventing Radio Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are here at Horse Trailer Pros Studios. And now we're going to take you back over across the ocean to see Mike Winter at his farm.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I got to go do a little interview and take a tour of Mike's place and see some of his horses.
So for those out there that don't know Mike Winter, who is Mike Winter?
So Mike Winter is actually a Canadian. He's a good friend of mine that I've known for years when he and his wife Emma used to live here.
Right.
He is a 5-star event rider. He has ridden at, I believe, 2 Olympic Games. He rode in Athens and in Beijing, in Hong Kong. He's ridden around some of the biggest tracks in the world. He's pretty good at what he does, but don't tell him I said that. And he runs an incredible sales business over in England. And
So that helps people.
yeah, and so if you are going to be looking for a horse to buy over in Europe and making a trip, Mike and Emma would be the people that I would recommend going to.
I'm excited about seeing this.
Yeah, so let's go check out their place. You can see some of their string of horses and get an idea of what they're all about. All right, so we're lucky enough to be here in Cirencester with Mike and Emma Winter, and Mike is going to be kind enough to show us around the farm, show us some of his horses, and have a good conversation. So thanks, Mike, for having us.
Thank you for coming.
All right. This is a new ring since I was here. Well, I guess I saw it once, but it's pretty new.
Yeah, so November 2018, we put in a new arena surface. We took off the old surface and put in a new one. It's equestrian surfaces, and it's a mix of silica sand, fiber, and it does have wax in it. We freeze really bad up here, and so the wax stops it from freezing, and it's very, very consistent. It stays the same whether it's wet weather or dry weather. It's always the same.
Right.
We really like it. It's held up really, really well, and we bought some new jumps, which just stay in here. We have another set of show jumps that go out on the grass in the summer, so we can practice show jumping on the grass. And we put in the mirrors a couple of years ago as well.
And you'll rent this out for hire for people to come in.
That's right.
Jump
Yeah.
courses.
So often in the season, this is rented out. Even in the winter, this is rented out a lot in the afternoons, and grass show jumping in the summertime and the cross country. And that's been a good income. We didn't really expect it moving here, but because they don't open courses where we event to school, schooling facilities are a big thing over here. There are a lot in this area, but there's a lot of demand for it.
Sure. So we'll just do this part now. So when you moved here originally from North America,
Yeah.
why'd you move here? Other than your wife is from here.
Well, I think we were always up for a new challenge, and things had gotten a bit the same for a long time in the States. Neither of us were from America. I'm Canadian and Emma's English. Whoop, whoop. And
Basically, America's hat.
And so after we had our children and we just decided we wanted something different, we didn't really know what we'd do financially coming here. I mean, we just thought we were up for something different. And it's been really interesting because I think we got used to the model, which most people do in America, which is having a few owners, but primarily making your income from teaching, which over here, that really didn't seem to be the case. So we really lucked into this place, which was not being utilized to its full potential, and being able to fix it up, put in a better surface, put in mirrors, invest in jumps, and having that income from renting it out.
But a big part of your business isn't it? Some producing and agenting and selling horses.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when we first moved here, I brought over a then 2-star long horse, which is now 3-star long.
Right.
I brought it over with the thought of taking it to London 2012. And after competing over here for a little while, I had to make a decision, once I took it advanced, whether going to the London Olympics, even though I'd already been to 2 Olympics, would further my career in business launching it over here in England, or once the horse seemed to be worth a good amount of money, the partner in the horse, a guy named Jim Walker from Birmingham, Alabama, and I made the decision to sell the horse. Which
horse was that?
It was a horse called Unstealable.
Right.
And after we sold the horse, we went our separate ways with our, separate investments in the horse, and or the ones are cashed out our equity in the horse, and Emma and I decided to invest it in a group of young horses. I mean, I really think you have to have a solid business that's financially viable to support the dream of going up the levels, going to major games and stuff, or it quickly then, owners come and go, horses come and go, and your business is really your foundation, I think, for being able to do this sport long term, whether that be teaching lessons, having a facility, buying and selling. And buying and selling is very good over here.
Well, and I think you're right. Like, you hit on something there that I think happens in the States a lot to most of us, which is we do it because we love it. Yeah. And you do it because you love it, and you make no money, and then eventually you get bitter, don't you? Because you're not making any money, and maybe you're not quite getting the exact dream you thought, and then you think, well, why am I doing this? Whereas if you can do it as a proper business, it helps you sleep at night, and that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, and also, it's different when Emma and I were in our 20s and we were galloping racehorses to support our eventing. But then once you have a family and a mortgage and all these things, you have to think about how you're going to sort of sustain financial stability for your family. And that's all part of it as well. And teaching lessons in America was very good for us. I mean, there is no end of people who want to have lessons in America and be coached at events. But the reality of it is, you're competing to be able to make a living. You're competing at events is striking a very delicate balance to catering to your clients who are there and doing the best possible job you can with the horses you're trying to compete. And that was always very difficult, even though we always had supportive owners and clients. And I find it easier over here to compete because even the people that maybe I do help a bit, they don't expect the same amount of coaching at competitions as they did in the States.
Right. It's more of a competition-based model over here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that said, you've done a really good job of setting yourself up now, and I think I'm correct in saying you've got some really nice horses in your barn that you're excited about this year.
Yeah, so it's been building, being able to keep some of the horses we own longer, gaining a few owners that have bought into some horses that we want to keep. And now last year, the last couple of years, I've had a few FEI horses. Last year particularly was a good year. I had 5 horses at FEI level. I mean, still only one going advanced last year, but that should change this year. A couple others might move up. And
so can we see them?
yeah, let's go
go
to
see
the yard. Yeah. This is Archie. He's just waiting to get clipped. He's back in full work, started jumping a couple of times, and he'll probably get clipped this week or next. He is a rising 8-year-old, about to move up to intermediate. He's by a stallion called Laval, who's a son of Landgraf. Landgraf is a son of Lady Killer, who's a thoroughbred that stood in Holland for a long time. And on the dam side, he's Julio Mariner, which is another thoroughbred, English thoroughbred that replaced Lady Killer when he got too old. So he's got a German passport.
But lots of blood. Hi, Archie.
I compete that one, yeah. And his competition name's American Express.
I like it. Put it on credit.
It's a nice horse.
Let's hope we can keep him not on credit.
Yeah, no, he's owned by some people that live in the Lake District in Cumbria.
Super.
Excellent.
This is a 5-year-old, well, no, now rising 6-year-old that Emma bought for herself. I can't remember its breeding, but that's Emma's.
And you can go on Wayfarer Eventing's Facebook page for all of that info.
Kelly Jaloma is her real name.
She's
Jaloma.
beautiful.
Yeah, she's
Shocking
lovely.
that Emma would have a beautiful mare.
Yeah, well, that's. This is another one of Emma's. This is by Tenerez, which is 75% thoroughbred. Tenerez won the 6-year-old world championships at Le Lion d'Angers, and he won the 7-year-old world championships at Le Lion d'Angers, and then it was sold to Harry Mead and got gelded, but this is a son of Tenerez. That's rising 5-year-old. So it did some 4-year-old classes last year, like Burley Young Event Horse classes.
So I see that
this is
Emma's are
Todd.
clipped and yours are not. Is there a...
Some of mine are and some aren't.
So it's not that Emma's got clipped first, it's that.
No, and then they just depends. This is El Mundo, horse I took to Blenheim last year that is on the Canadian top squad, which they call the national squad if they ever publish it for 2020.
Hint, hint.
And
Nudge, nudge, hint, hint.
it's a lovely horse we bought as a 5-year-old, uncompeted. And he is by Numero Uno, which is also a grandson. I think that's by Libero, which is a grandson of Landgraf as well.
Too bad he's not friendly.
And he's a lovely, lovely horse, and he's just easy to do, and he's just perfect. He's quiet on the flat. He's really trainable. He has tons of gallop and jump.
So you'd say this is your top horse right now?
Yeah, he's probably he's just
I've seen
a
him go.
lovely horse to do in every single way. So.
And he's young too. Mike, how old is
Well,
he?
no, he'll be 11 this year.
is he
but
11?
He did his first event he really had
Right.
his first season as an 8-year-old, and
I'm being nibbled
then he
behind
went to
me.
Blenheim 8, 9-year-old.
That's right. I remember he did the 8, 9-year-olds at Blenheim.
Yeah, he actually broke his leg as a 6-year-old and spent a year in the box. So that's why he's so friendly, because he had box rest for a year. But he broke his leg as a young horse after we bought him, and he's fine now. There's no real repercussions from it, but it did mean that he had to spend a long time in the stable.
All right, Mike, thanks so much for showing us around. Really appreciate it. It was a great tour.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
John, that was a really good interview with Mike.
God, thank you. I'm incredibly good at what I do.
But what was that? There was a lot of chatter in the back.
Yeah, you know, I have to apologize. My camera woman is...
Who is that?
That was my wife, and
She had a lot to say.
yeah, she's real chatty. And
So it was a John, Rick, and Jen show?
yeah. No, Jen had some great things to say as well,
No.
obviously. So
She always
thank you,
has-
Jen, for doing it.
She
I'm
always
just
has great
kidding,
things
baby.
to say, Jen. We love you.
Yeah, so anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed that. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're really excited because our next show, which is April, what did we say, 9th, right? April...
Is it on your phone?
Sorry, I should be ready for this. April 9th. I was right. We have David O'Connor, Olympic gold medalist, former coach of the U.S. equestrian
Wow,
team.
David's going to be great to have on the show.
And he is the current Canadian eventing team. I don't know if he's actually technically coach, but high performance director or high performance eventing something or other.
And he's back. He used to have that. He used to be coach back in the day.
Right.
Now he's back as whatever he is.
So now he's back basically as the Canadian coach. So we're excited to have David in on April 9th. So make sure you come back and check in for that. And in the meantime, thanks for watching tonight. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Rick Wallace.
And I have Don Holly here with me.
3 phases, dressage, cross country, show jump. And you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.